Hello there. One of my toxic traits is that I'm a spiritual person. That's not my toxic trait. Even though I'm a spiritual person, like, I do tarot cards, I've had my fair share of spooks, got that guy. My first instinct when I see a psychic on TikTok is to go. And it's not even that I disbelieve in psychics. Like, I feel like I take that extra step that most people in the population don't even take. It's just there's such a propensity for griftiness within psychics, especially psychics who do things for money. Like, have we all seen that clip of that one psychic where these like grieving parents are like, we just want to know what happened to our daughter, and the psychic says, oh, she was shot. But then it's revealed that the parents saw her collapse from some sort of like medical mystery, and it's very awkward. It's very bad. And so I think understanding just like the amount of power psychics have to like really mess with people's mental states, I tend to be pretty skeptical when I see them. But you know, psychics do a lot more than do police's jobs for them. There's all kinds of psychics, mediums, communicators out there. And one of my recent favorites is an animal communicator, a pet psychic, if you will, on TikTok named Nikki Vasconez. And if you don't know who that is, you may have seen this beautiful TikTok of her describing one of her recent sessions.
This dog told me yesterday that he didn't like his nickname because it could be interpreted as him being overweight. After our session, I later found out his family calls him Big Al, but only because he's a big breed dog.
Now there's so many layers to unpack from that video. First of all, I love and hate that dogs are apparently just as fatphobic as the rest of society. She really had to expose Lil Al like that, and I do mean Lil Al offensively. Because he's small-minded, and we support big boys on this channel. And like a lot of people who saw this video, I immediately went to see how much it would cost for her to call out my dog. And y'all, her starting rates are around $300 per session. And at first I was just picturing her on a Zoom call with the dog, like, but no, it turns out it's even less than that. So you send a picture of whichever animal you want to have her read about, and then I guess she sends you a video describing the vibes that she picked up from the dog, or what the animal told her psychically through the picture. And it looked like pre-pandemic she used to do more in-person stuff, like she would do body scans and stuff, and I'm so sad that she doesn't do it anymore. Was it about one body scan that she did where her psychic reading told her that the dog loved butt scratches, and I'm just like, I'm so sad that I discovered her too late and can't verify that information for myself, because how will I know if Goose loves butt scratches? There's just no other way to tell. And fatphobic Al isn't the only animal that Nikki talks to. She's talked to quite a few, and I've collected some of my favorite reviews and summaries from her readings. We have this review from Steven that says, I knew something was going on with my cat because every time I would call out his name Pancake or even go near him to pet him, he would walk away or be on high alert. I reached out to Nikki and she found out Pancake wants a stronger name that embodies his warrior-like personality. After giving him a stronger name and treating him like one of the guys, he was more welcoming of me around him. I'm sad to say that we don't know what Pancake was renamed to, but I'm glad that whatever this cat's name is can finally be one of the guys, one of the dudes. Can't relate, but love that for him. Another thing I saw was there were a couple of readings, like a good handful, where the animal would tell Nikki that basically their owner was lazy and needed to work out and lose some weight. When Zoe told me her mom needed to stretch more, I chuckled because I knew her human owned a yoga studio, and I thought Zoe was tattling on mom for slacking. Another one from Mowgli. Mowgli randomly said, Mom needs to stop eating so much ice cream. Mowgli, mind your goddamn business, okay? Or there's these particularly judgmental cats. Nikki says, I spoke with Chloe and Louie days apart and was reminded after their human listened to the recording that both made comments about Mom getting her butt back to working out. Between Chloe wanting me to run around and sweat and Louie wanting me to lift weights, I better join a gym. Crying emoji, crying emoji. And like, you just have to picture that these people paid $300 for Nikki to tell them through their animals that she thinks that they're fat and lazy and needs to hit the gym. Like, imagine if I paid for a session and Goose was like, you really gotta work on that squat PR. You wait hours before taking your protein powder after the gym. I don't know how you expect to see results, mother. Disgusting. Mind your business. Also this one where there's like an emergency session because this dog had to be rushed to the hospital, and so they called up Nikki to give a reading, basically asking what was wrong with the dog and what they needed to do. And Nikki says that the dog wanted ice cream and salmon and was cold. I could just imagine Nikki sitting in her pajamas at 7 p.m. and like, this is how this went down. Ah, what a day of staring at animals' pictures. Huh? Fuck. I have to think fast. She wants ice cream, but she's also cold. That doesn't sound psychic enough. I gotta throw in something else so it doesn't sound too suspicious. Oh, and she wants salmon. That'll be $300. Also, I think ice cream is just a general theme in her readings because she also tells a story about Sabu the cow. The cow told her that he likes ice. I like ice cream. And apparently the owner of the cow was like, are you talking about the cold water stream that he drinks from? That like in the winter sometimes gets covered in ice? And she's like, oh my gosh, yes. This is a learning experience about my misinterpretation. She sells it as like, oh, even though I got it wrong, the owner was still able to figure out what she was trying to say. And I'm like, well, if it's so easy, then why are you charging $300 for it? And overall, if you just look through some TikToks that she does of her readings, a lot of the information she gives about different animals just seems like stuff that you could figure out on your own without being psychic or without paying $300.
I talked to Mirsa the other day during an animal communication session because his humans couldn't quite get to the bottom of a few bothersome activities or behaviors of his. One issue was he runs away from the house and then doesn't come back.
He's a husky. That's why he runs away. Statistically speaking, the fact that none of these dogs are like super racist or homophobic is also sus to me, especially her dog. Have you seen her dog? His name is Donald, okay? And as we know by her naming theory, he definitely manifested that wall being built. It seems like her decision to be an animal communicator that also communicates with dead animals was entirely random because she tells this story.
When I started talking to animals, I didn't intentionally try to connect with those on the other side, those that had already passed away. But one of my sessions was with a cat, and the owner didn't tell me prior to the session that the cat had passed away 4 months prior. So I'm looking at this picture, I connect with the cat, and one of the things the cat said that she didn't like at all was her human's phone by the bed at nighttime.
So to me, it seems like she got caught giving a reading for a dead cat and then was like, oh my gosh, I must be able to communicate with cats who have also passed over and I just can't tell the difference between those two. Yep, that's what it is. And then she's just committed to the bit ever since. I will say I appreciate about her is that unlike that cringy psychic I showed before, she does not speculate about missing animals and whether they're alive or dead because she claims that the way she connects with spirits, she cannot tell whether they've passed over or are still alive. And you would think that she can simply ask them where they are, regardless of whether they're alive or not. But ultimately, I appreciate her for not exploiting the grief of someone who has a missing pet where they don't know if they're living or not. And apparently it is easy because she advocates for animal communication as a learnable skill for everyone to do. Let's give it a try. All right, Goose. I'm sensing you like ice cream and salmon. Oh. That may have been incorrect. All right, be free. Well, you know, there's not a whole lot going on in Goose's brain, so let's put it to the test with some of my other pets.
I love eating little worms.
Not too surprising.
William Afton, also known as the Purple Guy and the Employee, is the co-founder of Fazbear Entertainment as well as the main antagonist of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise.
Weird, I couldn't, I didn't pick up anything with Ryuk. Move on, you know? And at some point in researching this video, I was like, do I really want to make this thing? Because, like I said, I don't know if she's legit. I don't know if she thinks she's legit. You know, I don't want to just rip on somebody who generally seems to be positive and helping people connect to their pets. Like, that's pretty harmless. And then I saw this video and I got a little suspicious.
If your animal is aggressive, overprotective, or has separation anxiety, this might be why. It's called an emotional wound agreement. Often, when something's going on with our pet, we focus all of our energy on trying to fix them, heal the issue. Why are they doing that? What's wrong with them? But is your animal mirroring your unhealed emotional wound? Do you feel abandoned? and that's why your pet has separation anxiety? Do you not trust people, and that's why your dog's aggressive?
So I have a rescue dog, and he has separation anxiety, struggles with being reactive, and Goose and I have worked really hard since I adopted him to work on those behaviors, and it hasn't been easy. We worked with an animal behaviorist who has like a master's degree in like animal psychology, who helped me train him, and I'm always making sure that he's getting enough exercise, enrichment, the right food so that he's set up for success as best as possible. Animals are not reflections of who you are, and it's a really harmful and unproductive way to talk about mental health to say that your emotional struggles are impacting the behavior of your dog to that extent anyways. Yes, like having confidence going through training or just being nervous when you're trying a new skill can rub off on them, but it's a lot more nuanced than that. It takes a lot more training and advocacy than just being confident yourself. And again, I saw this clip and I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt because obviously this is personal to me. Of course, I'm gonna have this opinion, but maybe she was just trying to say that point I mentioned earlier where, you know, being stressed out probably isn't the best for your animals. But then I found her husband's account, and while I think she is like a 2 out of 10 grifter, her husband is full-on white man with dreadlocks wellness influencer. Yep, he's got the whole whitewash wellness practice starter pack. He's anti-medicine. He believes your bad vibes caused whatever chronic illness you had.
We have sickness or we have illness or a health challenge in our life. It is a road sign to bring us back onto alignment with who and what we truly are and what we are here to do during this experience.
He's really into ayahuasca. There are videos on his channel suggesting that ayahuasca helped cure a person's multiple sclerosis, anxiety, all sorts of things.
So the reference to how we are living life has been very misconstrued.
There's a bunch of videos on his channel about water fasts and stuff, which is just a fancy word for starving yourself in a retreat in Costa Rica. And his real big grifty thing is about distilled water. Yeah, he's one of those water gatekeepers. And, you know, honestly, it's not the most harmful thing that he could push. Like, there are certainly worse things that wellness influencers push, but the first thing he shows as sort of his research and to ignore the mainstream media is this book by an optometrist. Not even on the first page, like just on an intro about the doctor. The book plugs this famous myth about this mysterious tribe that supposedly lives long past like what you would expect just because of their like natural lifestyle and their weird exoticism aside. This has long been debunked. The average life expectancy of this tribe is between 52 and 53 years. Also, you know a book is sus when its main selling point on Amazon is how small and easy to read it is. And sure enough it is. I found a PDF of it floating around online. The research that this guy's talking about is mostly just finding different anecdotes of people who claim to cure whatever illness by drinking boiled and distilled water. Like, yes, case studies have their place in science, but even if a doctor is telling you an anecdote, it's still an anecdote, and it's not peer-reviewed or empirical data, so like, calm down, sir. And just like Big Al, no one's told Nikki's husband, Michael, about the social determinants of health, because he's not the biggest fan of fat people either.
70% of the population is overweight. Most people are on some sort of pill to make themselves feel better, to try to get some sort of healthy life into their life, not realizing what that pill is doing to them, but they're still seeking for a better feeling inside of them, so they look to an outside circumstance. One trick to always being able to eat healthy no matter where you go. Eat in grocery stores. Make grocery stores your new restaurants. If there's nowhere to eat healthy where you are, just go to the grocery store. This really helps.
Honestly, the grift is far too much to even summarize in this video, but the point is he takes a lot of really complicated health issues and tells you that all you have to do is eat raw and put your hair in dreads and don't get vaccinated if you want to live forever. Well, I guess I couldn't find anything exclusively anti-vax on his page, but for a health influencer, he sure doesn't mention the pandemic in any of his work, which I find incredibly suspicious. One, because either he knows that being pro-vaccination will alienate some of his target demographic, or two, he doesn't want to immediately scare off people who would get the vaccine, so he just subtly hides that in until you have to go through his paid stuff. I'm not sure, but I'm suspicious. Point is, pooping your pants on ayahuasca isn't going to cure your MS. It's just gonna make you poop your pants. One of my favorite videos I found, to be fair, this isn't Michael's video. It was something he was tagged in where he's with another wellness influencer. Just watch this chaos.
Right now I'm with Mike. What's going on?
What's up? Come check out Arnold's Way book review, How to End Autism.
How to End Autism.
It's free. You're going to get free stuff.
It's $100.
You get free $100.
$100 just to attend it.
Yep.
Can you imagine?
The book's free.
No, the book's $20.
Oh, the book's $20.
But I give you $20 of free green smoothies.
So you get $20 of free green smoothies.
That's free, right?
Sunday, January 6th.
Yes.
6:30 to 8:30.
Yes.
Monday, January 7th, 6:30 to 8:30.
And you get classes free, and guess what else you get?
Only 25 people to sign up.
6 free meals.
You get 6 free meals. And we have to eat it all over here, or we get like cards?
You get a card.
Oh, you get cards. Free
Whenever you want.
Show up.
You get,
And learn how to end autism.
this is free.
In 10 years, 1 out of 10 kids are going to be having autism.
No, 1 out of 1.
1 out of 1.
You know what that means? Can't function.
2025.
2032. Go on.
2032.
Go on.
They really said, no, we don't need to do another take. I think we got it. That was good. Honestly, this makes me wish that Nikki gave advice to her, like, dog clients the way that Michael seems to give advice to people on the internet. It's like, yeah, turns out Buster really needs to go to Brazil and find himself, you know? And he also says you need to lose 10 pounds, okay? At the end of the day, I can hope that these people believe what they're saying and don't actively seek to harm people, but they're certainly pushing some dangerous stuff, at least on his platform, and coincidentally with hers, since they tend to cross-promote quite a bit. And you know, I'm not against psychics. I'm not even really against non-traditional medicine if you're taking into account, one, the sort of roots of the indigenous practices these are often platformed on, and two, that these things can be done in congruence with traditional medicine as well. Like, I don't think wellness influencers are wrong to say that there's problems with the American healthcare system, but I also think that if you really cared, you would advocate for socialized medicine, you know? But is Nikki a bad person or a sketchy person just because her husband pushes these beliefs? Like, I don't know. Like I said, she seems to bring a lot of comfort to her clients, and they're adults. They're allowed to spend whatever money they want. And if they want to pay $300 to know that their dog likes ice cream, like, good for them. But yeah, would love to know your thoughts down below. Also, feel free to like and subscribe if you liked me and would like to subscribe to me. As always, I'll be back with more content at some point in the future. Bye.